Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And for today, I want to talk about a topic that I touched upon that I've touched upon earlier, but I wasn't necessarily proud of the outcome of the video, so I am doing it with so I'm trying so I am redoing it, which is and for today's topic is the Russian government and the male disposability it essentially promotes. So what is male disposability? For to kind of get it started. So male disposability is basically this notion that men are less valuable than women, and since women's value is only in their ability to give birth, and uh, that means that it also kind of it also, if you've probably heard the saying, save the women and children, um that also kind of feeds into that, but also another aspect of male responsibility is basically this belief system that, like, if you are a guy, or maybe born in a or if your consciousness um is in a male body, this means that um you don't deserve to kind of like be to like live a peaceful life, and you're basically kind of deserve to be to kind of to go to war. Essentially, you kind of there's this notion that, like, your whole life has to be all about war, and I'm only gonna do this and for those of you who don't know, I'm only doing this as an outsider, though as a person who's not really, I'm not Russian, I am Bulgarian. um I'm only doing this as an outside observer, just observations, kind of like kind of how and how it all kind of relates to the Russian government, and the sort of culture it kind of promotes, essentially. So I think it's very clear that from the invasion of Ukraine, a lot of a lot of casualties on the Russian side, and obviously on the Ukrainian side there are also there are casualties on both sides, but more severely they are on the Russian side, and they are reaching into there's like they're reaching up there in the six digit numbers, sort of like sort of somewhere up there in the six digit number, sort of like level as it is. And this is not and and as an outside observer, I will say that this is not the first time Russia has gone through this. um during uh, during World War II, um there are obviously, since it's a war, there are obviously some substantial losses due to how kind of war is being conducted, and obviously a substantial number of just like people kind of died, or just like or were unalived. The next war is the next war is the Cold War, which obviously another more obviously more people died. Kind of and that kind of also um had its own thing, and also kind of we can also see more kind of soldiers were unalived, and and um in the more recent war in Ukraine, the invasion of Ukraine, um we see also a lot of also a lot of like not victims but like casualties to the to just the to the meat grinder that the Russian government has been doing. According to just in according to estimates in September 2021, approximately like 30,000 were injured, and over 10,000 were killed. And in August of like of 2022, 1,500 were injured, and over 700 were unalive due to the meat grinder, and just the whole aspect of the just like how the whole government kind of conducts the war efforts. And obviously this is a meat grinder, and obviously like I said, Ukraine has also lost a lot, has also lost a lot, has also lost a substantial number of people, but on their side it's not really that much. Yes, it reaches up to the yes it goes beyond 100 per 100 unalived soldiers, obviously, but like it's not necessarily it's not necessarily the over 10,000 un unalive soldiers on the Russian side. And obviously, and why and the problem, and obviously the obvious question now is, well, why, obviously. So if you probably didn't notice, just like Russian society is just very kind of it pushes this idea of it pushes this it takes aspects of masculinity, and it just and it just ramps this up, and it just like ramps them up to 100. um we a lot of this is also because just a lot of people, from what I've seen and from what I've read on the internet, kind of overall up there kind of um I've kind of like they trusted the president because they obviously they because they are because they because they say that he got them out of like out of economic problems, which I would guess any person who's about any politician wants to probably hear that praise, but like what is happening now kind of paints a whole different image, just a whole yeah, paints a whole different image, because like um yes they trust him, but like look, I mean, look what he's doing now. He um and just like and like I said, he there's a lot of he, there's a lot of aspects of masculinity which Russian society has been has been just like blowing up to 100. And even when even when there are there someone probably speaks up about the casualties, it's just like very few people. And most of the time it's just most people just don't care, because like the way the way it hasn't the way it has been framed to the general public is, they're doing it, they were unalived essentially for all, just because of honor, for honor. Like, this is not honor. Like, this is obviously not honor. This is just pure stupidity, pure unadulterated stupidity. Um, and this is just something, um and that's not something really kind of like, and and this sort of stupidity that the government kind of like exploits in men is not necessarily something really inherent to probably to Russian society. A lot of cultures around the world, due to just colonialistic notions of masculinity and femininity, just um kind of do the same thing, but to varying degrees, obviously. But in this situation, it's important to say that um the Russian government is obviously exploiting, um obviously it's exploiting the people. Often people, those people are coming from not so wealthy parts of the country, and they are drafted on contract, and also from what I've read, the contracts that they are signing, they don't have a they don't necessarily have an expiration date. It's just that they are indefinite. Um and and even from what I've read, they don't necessarily get the sufficient training that will be done or required, uh, if we were to compare them to the American military per se. Um, and which all of this kind of leads to the just rows of graves with, and just people, um and it kind of leads to just all the graves in just like people losing, just in people losing someone, someone like their family member, like a person who, like, just, and only because they were and only the reason why they were exploited by this, by this like suicidal, by this uh uh by, by this meat grinder system, is because they just didn't have a lot of money, which is just unfortunate, to be honest. And from what I remember reading, is that the age range for drafting has been risen up to, has been risen up to like maybe to like 50 something, or 60, or 60 something, because because I remember like like an elderly man, like he also signed he also signed a well, one of those contracts. And um and um now even like elderly men are being drafted uh into this meat grinder, obviously. um it's and just like from my from my outsider observations, this is not going to be good for just general society, if we're talking about population sustainability, because um I don't think, because just because I also think it's very, it's not wrong to mention that there is this colonialistic aspect to the invasion of Ukraine. But that kind of had but that I'm afraid it needs a different video on its own, which I have to do my own research for that to happen. So yeah, this is for another video. Um and like I said, this is not going to end well. Um, I can definitely foresee some revolts from soldiers revolting because of how they're being treated, and that kind of majorly halting the war in and that kind of like majorly halting the war in Ukraine. Um, but long term speaking, Russian society isn't going. If Russian society is not going to this is it's not going to survive, unfortunately. That's just how it is. When um when when you kind of when you're born into a world um where it's been painted by thousands of years of colonialism. One, it's either women have to deal with the consequences, or men have to deal with the consequences of this dualistic system, of this dualistic unnecessary system, unfortunately. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I hope that I hope I hope Ukrainian people are doing okay. I hope they're doing fine. I hope this video kind of reaches them through the algorithm. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, tell me things in the comment section, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye. Goodbye.